to Too Many Hats Podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats Podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy Thursday, man. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. This your host with the most, man, Tony Mays. We have another great show planned for you today, man. But first of all, let me give a shout out to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, man. Again, we wanted to recognize all of you who have been in the fight for the last however many years you've been fighting it. Those who have supported the fight, because we at Too Many Hats support the fight, man. And whether or not you have family members who are in the fight or who have succumbed to the fight, or you yourself in the fight, or just supporting the fight, we recognize you all month long. I'm wearing my pink all month long in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And men, you can get breast cancer as well. So you make sure that you're checking yourself out as well, man, because we don't want anybody to, go through and not realize that you're going through. So like they say, man, go get checked early and often. And for those of you men who don't believe in going to get checked, period, about nothing, man, go to the doctor. At least do your annual physical. If you don't do nothing else, you got to at least do your annual physical, men, if you don't do nothing else. So let me do this real quick, man, before we get on into our topic today. Because our tent drive, when I tell you it's less than 23 days away, it's coming really, really quick, man. And I have less than 20 days to order tents. So I definitely want your guys' support. If you can support by purchasing a tent, you can send me, man, a minimum of $25 will get a tent. Send me $25 and we will get some more tents before I only have about, I would need to get it probably this week in order to have the tents back in time for the event. So this is our last push this week. This week and the first of next week is our last push for these tents. So, man, appreciate any help that you guys can do as it relates to our tent drive.
Hope. One tent at a time. Every day in America, more than 770,000 people are without a place to call home. Here in Memphis, over 1,200 neighbors,
Good morning, Ms.
families,
Green, Ms.
children,
Matt.
and veterans face the same struggle each night. That's why Tony Mays and Lavelle Salter of the 2 Minute Hats podcast invite you to their second annual tent drive for the homeless. Saturday, November 22nd, 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Morris Park, 747 Poplar Avenue. 38105. We're collecting tents, blankets, sleeping bags, and warm gear to help our brothers and sisters without shelter this winter. Music powered by DJ One Love Entertainment, sponsored by Lake Grove MB Church, Weaver Road, and New Sardis MB Church Men's Ministry. Together we can make a difference. One donation, one heartbeat, one act of love at a time. For more information, contact Tony or Lavelle at 901-4283, 822, or 90184-82758.
Good morning, Ms. Bartlett. And so last, before we get into our topic, You guys asked for it. You guys asked for it, and we want to bring it to you. And this is the Prepared Life Essential Survivor and Emergency Kit Seminar. It's going to be November the 8th, 2025 from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Free admission. We're not charging. It's going to be at Lake Grove MB Church, 4941 Weaver Road, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109. We are going to be there. We got the okay from the pastor. And so I'm going to bring a couple of my kits. I'm not going to bring all 6 of them, but I'm going to bring a couple of them to show some of the stuff that's going to be that I have already in my kit. And then we're going to have maybe not an exhausted list, but we're going to have a list of items that you should be able to purchase yourself. And man, just make sure you tell those who you love, man. It's free. We're going to pack the house out with as many people as we can get in there. So we need your help in sharing this information. And we're gonna just get it in. We're gonna answer any questions that we can answer. Good deal, Ms. Gwen. Any questions that we can answer about it. We just want to make sure people are prepared. So again, we're gonna be live and in living color, man. If you need some more information about it, you can reach out to myself or Lavelle. And you don't need to bring anything with you. Just show up, open mind, and just be willing to listen. And hopefully I have some printouts for you as well, so you can with stuff on some of those lists that you can have to kind of get you started. All right. So let's jump on into this thing, man. When a man tells a woman that he's lost his inner peace, and don't worry, women, we got y'all tomorrow. We talking about the men today. If a man tells a woman or says to a woman, I ain't got no peace, he's really saying, he's his inner peace is gone. What does that really mean? And I'm glad I got a lot of women on here this morning, because if a man told you guys that as a woman, if a man told you, baby, I done lost my, or not even baby, if he don't say baby before, he'll use a term of endearment before he say it. Yeah. If he said, hey, look, I ain't got no peace. Will you be giving any kits away? I'll be giving information about kits away. Not giving any kits away. No, we will not be giving any kits away. It's too much to go into an emergency kit to be trying to give away. No, we're going to give you the information for it. I know you're being funny, but yeah. Good morning, Zoe. So when a man tells you he's lost his inner peace, ladies, what does that mean to you guys? He said, I didn't lost my inner peace. My inner peace is shot to the curb. When he says that, what is on your mind? Monica said he is struggling on the internally. He is struggling on the internally with something. Ms. Gwen said lots of nagging. I don't know, baby. You I don't know what you saying on that. Why did you lose it? What happened? I mean, I think maybe that's I think that's a question, but I don't know if you should necessarily ask that male once he tells you that. I think it shouldn't be why did you lose it? What happened? I think, okay, let's talk about it. What's going on with you? I think it should be more like they're struggling internally with something. Okay. Some people may assume that you were. That's why I asked. No, I didn't even mention that nowhere in my little spiel that we were giving away kits. So I don't know why anybody would assume that. But okay, thank you for your insight on that. Right. So Yeah, man, I just don't think that if you're saying I'm gonna turn around and ask him why did you lose it, what happened, I don't think, like, if you put it that way, you might not get the right answer. Yeah, it would be like, hey, let's talk about it. Let's kind of talk about, let's talk this too and what's going on, so I can, so I can understand what it is. Um, but yeah, struggling internally with something. So there are a few reasons that he could be in lost his peace, his inner peace. When a man says, and I'm gonna take these comments off the screen, if there's somebody that says something, I put it up there. When a man says I've lost my inner peace, understanding what he really means. For me, if I think if there was any point that I would say this to Monica, for me, just thinking right now, it would probably mean more so that, like, there's something internally going on within our relationship that needs some attention. And so I would definitely want to have a conversation. And if she wasn't up to having a conversation, then it will probably not go very well over the next weeks or months or whatever. But anyway, so the first thing that could be going on with him is just some emotional turmoil. He may be expressing that he feels overwhelmed, anxious, or emotionally unsettled. It's a way of admitting that something inside him isn't right. Well, Monica said something internally, he's struggling with something internally, that he's not calm, grounded, or content like he used to be. In essence, I've lost my inner peace. I can't find emotional stability anymore. So the first thing, it could just be some emotional turmoil. There's a lot, especially if you think about today, in today's culture. Men are put through a whole lot now, and we got to be the provider, we got to be the protector, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta go, and we got to do all that while still going out in the streets and being a man and dealing with the racial inequality, the profiling, the harassment by police, because they're more apt to harass the men quicker than they will the women. And so all those things, man, that he could be dealing with, that could have him overwhelmed, anxious, just emotionally unsettled. There's a lot put on men, and even if we feel like we're the sole providers or the one that should be providing, and we're not in a position to be that could be a lot on us emotionally, because we're thinking about, hey, this is my family, or this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and at this point I'm not able to really do it like I want to do it, and it could cause some unsettled emotions. And so when he says I've lost my inner peace, it could equal I can't really find my emotional stability anymore. My emotional stability is gone. Like it's not there. So that's why I think, like Mel Max said, I think it's important to ask, can we talk about it? Let's figure out what's going on. And it may be when he tells you, start talking about, like, from a provision standpoint, that he then you can be like, well, hey, I got us covered. Like, I can make up the gap. You know what I'm saying? I can cover the gap. Don't feel like you got to do it all by yourself. If he's saying it to you, he's saying it to you for a reason. Is all I'm saying. If he doesn't say anything to you at all, that's a problem. Because first of all, he don't feel like there's a safe enough space for him to even be that vulnerable with you. So that's another problem in itself. If you haven't, as a woman, created a safe enough space for him to be able to be vulnerable and transparent with you, then that's a problem, right? So there could be some emotional turmoil going on if he says, "Hey, I done lost my peace." So you might want to, try to figure out what it is that he's dealing with that's causing him to feel like he's lost his inner peace. Number two, it can be just mental or spiritual fatigue. He might be spiritually drained or mentally exhausted, feeling disconnected from himself or his purpose. But wait, if a man says, "I don't talk," communication's key. If I know, I know. If I don't know, hey, it is what it is. Nah. He might be spiritually drained. Sometimes, again, as men, we take this burden on us that, hey, I'm spiritually responsible for my family. My family is following me spiritually, and there's so much I can do. I'm just mentally exhausted. I'm feeling disconnected from whatever my purpose really is. I'm disconnected from it, so I'm not in tune with my purpose. It could just be a loss of clarity, like just an understanding. Like I'm not really sure what am I supposed to be doing. The faith that I have or don't have, or the direction that I'm supposed to be going in or not going in. So he no longer really feels aligned with who he is or what he wants to do. That could be a traumatic type of experience for a man, because you're talking about an emotional roller coaster when you're mentally fatigued and you're disconnected from whatever it is you feel like you're supposed to be doing. And see, I can really understand and identify with this, because there was a point in time in my life where I felt like I didn't really understand what my purpose was. Yeah, exactly, Rodney. He, his joy, his vision. So sometimes we can have, or we can understand. Well, we might, even though we may not know exactly what our purpose is, but there's a certain level of joy, or either a vision that we have for what we kind of perceive our life or want our life to be. And when we're disconnected from that, pretty much that vision or whatever it is, then it just seems like nothing is going right. Have you ever heard it just seems like I can't get nothing right? I just can't get nothing right. That's almost the same as saying I ain't got no peace. I just can't get nothing right, because something is wrong, something is off, something is out of tune, out of whack. So he no longer feels aligned with who he is or what he wants. And this is often said when life's pressure hit. We had a situation similar to this here recently, where one of my sons called and he was like, the weight of the world, life's pressure was getting to him. And he didn't know, like, really how to navigate through that. And we just simply told him, man, this is part of being a man. It's part of life. Life happens. And it don't just because you Tony or you Kewin or you Ronnie or you Mel or you Monica or you Miss Loretta or you Miss Gwen, just because life doesn't just look past you, right? Life don't look past you. So this is often said when life's pressures, guilt, or regret, it's kind of it has eroded your sense of balance. Exactly. And that's why I said it, when he says, like, man, I can't nothing go right. Rodney said he may say nothing And nothing I do is good enough. He may say nothing I do is good enough. Now, if he said that directly to the woman, generally it's in response to the woman always saying something, and he looked at her and said, man, can't nothing I do is good. Nothing I do is good enough for you. So that's an issue he has with that woman, not necessarily with life. So you need to, however he said that to you, you need to pay attention to how that's been said to you. Right? Because he may just say nothing I do is good enough. And if he add on the end for you, then you know that's directly towards you. And that's you know that's a tough one, man. When life hits you in a way where you can't really fully comprehend, like, what am I really supposed to do? What is it that has got me just all feeling like this? Like everything is foggy. You know what I mean? Like there's no clarity about life, about what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do next? And so sometimes you just have to take a step, bag up, and kind of reevaluate or look at your life and see where it is. And then this as a wife or a partner in a relationship with this person, this is where you could probably come in and say, hey, well, let's talk about it. Let's sit down and talk about it. Let's see, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that you feel like you're not connected with or you need clarity on? And a lot of times as men, we don't really want to talk to women about these things, especially if we don't feel like she's created a safe enough space for him to even talk about it or be transparent in that moment. So he may have to go and talk to somebody else outside of the house, if he's in a relationship type situation. Monica said life can be tough. People that motivate you and support and your support systems really help when life gets tough. Be careful with people who are overly negative all the time. Yeah, I can't, like, if you always negative, you can't be in my circle. Like I'm gonna dismiss you really quick. And I might not even tell you I'm dismissing you or that you, but I'm, if I check you on always being negative, like, why you always got something negative to say? Chances are I'm probably getting ready to dismiss you from, if I hadn't already mentally dismissed you from my circle. This is a big one right here. Relationship conflict. And when a man really says, hey, I've lost my inner peace. If he says this to a woman he's close to, it might mean that the relationship or something between them has disrupted his emotional balance. He could be communicating pain, guilt, or longing that the dynamic has unsettled him. Ms. Gwen says, sometimes as parents, we attempt to shield our children from challenges and pain so much so that they aren't prepared to navigate through things once they're own as adults. So it can very well, you could be the issue. But listen to what he says here. Listen to what it says. It said he could be communicating pain, that there is some pain that has happened within their relationship, or guilt. There's something that he's done or not doing that he's feeling guilty about in the relationship. So it might not necessarily have anything to do with you, what you've done to him, but maybe how he's feeling or something that he's done to you, or longing, something that he's longing for in the relationship that he's not getting. But either way, he's totally unsettled and he's not feeling good about how the relationship is going. Something has disrupted. So in other words, I've lost my inner peace could mean the relationship is affecting me deeply, and I can't find calm in it anymore. If he can't find no calm in it anymore, it's over. And I think I can probably speak for all men when I say that if he just can't find no calm, no peace, no in the relationship anymore, if he expresses that, chances are it's probably over. It's almost like the woman when the woman stops talking to you, stops trying to, yeah, she pretty much then checked out. And so we have to be mindful of what he's saying, how he's saying it, and maybe try to if he's alluding to a certain context and when he's saying it, when he's saying whatever he's saying. But I think the bottom line goes back to just communication. We have to communicate to figure out what it is, why he's feeling this way. And so you women that say, man, he just too emotional. He just, I ain't got time for that, man. That's all that old, man, all that old weak stuff. That's not the response. And if you feel that way about your man, yeah, that's a story for a whole nother day. If you feel like your man is being weak and he's trying to express to you in a relationship that, hey, I ain't got no peace. Why is it that you feel this way, babe? I just, man, it seems like nothing ain't working right. Oh, okay. Nothing like what? I mean, are you talking about our relationship? Well, no, just stuff in life, period. I'm just trying to do this. So now you know that it's really not about the relationship. So now make him feel safe to kind of open up about what it is he's having trouble or struggling, the area that he's struggling in. So baby, what is it? Talk to me so we can figure this out. We can help, we can try to navigate through this or get through this together. He's like, fine, I can't even find no good job enough to help take care of the house. Okay, baby, just keep looking, keep searching. We're gonna handle what we gotta handle together. We're gonna face it together. You gotta reassure him that everything is good, because he may have come from a household where his father was a sole provider or a provider, and when I say provider, I'm not just talking about financially, but all kinds of things. And he may not feel adequate enough, or he's trying to measure up to what daddy and granddaddy did, and he hasn't made it there yet, and he's feeling inadequate about that. And so if that is the case, then you have to be there to reassure him that, hey, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this together. We good. We're gonna make it through it until we can do better. We're gonna get to what we can do. But if he's speaking or communicating this pain to you and he says it's about the relationship, you really need to tune in and see, hey, like what's going on. Because it can mean that the relationship is on the brinks of dissolving, or is I just need you to be more present for me there in the relationship. So you definitely have to be listening and paying attention to what's going on, because I mean, if you're the sole reason that I don't have any peace in the relationship, if I'm the woman, I'm trying to figure out why it is that I'm not causing that I'm creating this havoc, or I'm not peaceful. I'm not a peaceful place for you. Mel said healing is needed from the previous situation and able to move on. But what if there's no previous situation? What if you're the issue? You're the issue, not a previous situation is the issue. I do understand that some people take relationship pain and they take it into other relationships and they haven't healed from that. I understand, but we're talking about a situation where he's telling you You're the issue in the relationship. You're the problem. You're the one causing him the pain or the longing. We can't keep digressing or keep, putting the blame on other people when I'm speaking to you and I'm telling you you're the problem. You can't tell me it's from my past hurt when I'm telling you no, you're the problem. I do understand, that people do enter relationship with past pain and past hurt. And she said, move on, but don't fumble a good that may have prematurely came. Get to an agreement and communicate and move accordingly. Monica said, I was just about to say it may not be peace in the relationship. It could be peace within, with other things. If a person is not at peace within, they will definitely negatively affect their partner. Ms. Gwen said, or feel inadequate trying to measure up to what the men, dad, brothers, uncles, former partners in partner's life did before their relationship. Yeah, that could be tough when you're talking about from a provision standpoint and all of that. And you're trying to measure up to what your dad or uncle, or you have a brother in a situation that's doing really good in his relationship and taking care of, providing, making a safe point and all of that stuff. That's my point. Well, you started off talking about past relationship, past hurt. That ain't nothing. That has nothing to do with feeling inadequate about not being able to measure up to daddy. That has nothing to do with a past relationship. That's just me trying to measure myself up to my dad or my brother, my uncle, my granddaddy in my relationship. That has nothing to do with the relationship conflict. That the pain that he's feeling from you, or he's longing something out of the relationship from you that he's not receiving. Those are two different things. A cry for understanding. Number 4 says a cry for understanding. Men often use phrases like this instead of directly saying I'm hurting or I don't know what to do. So when they say I ain't got no peace, it may be a cry for something totally different. Just like this is saying, it's I don't really understand what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm hurting. I don't know what to do. It's a vulnerable admission that he's struggling internally, but may not have words to explain exactly why. So all the time when men don't say nothing, it's not that they're just quiet because they just being quiet. It's they don't really know the words or have the words to explain exactly why or how they really feel. So if I've never been around people who have shown me really how to express, or I've never really expressed because I've never had a reason to really express how I feel or share how I feel, and never really witnessed or seen, or had that example, that can be tough for me. And if I say I ain't got no peace, and you the woman sitting there saying I don't really know what that means. So talk to me, babe. So what are you saying? And you might have to dig a little deeper, scratch beneath the surface to figure out what's really going on with him. And if you're not willing to put in that time to help scratch, you can't have an attitude of, yeah, it is what it is. And, he can't tell me what's going on. It is what it is. That's not the right, I think if you really love this man and you care for this man, you would want to help him try to figure out what it is, why he's feeling like he has no peace. Listen to this. This statement can be a request for empathy and emotional connection. It could be a statement or a request for empathy and emotional connection. Monica said, I personally had to make peace with other things in order to become a better, happier, healthier person, both physically and mentally. And it can be something, uh, to your point, Mel, where it's not necessarily him that needs the healing, but maybe you as the partner, like Monica just said, that needs the healing. But because you haven't healed, you're causing this havoc in his life, and he's saying, I ain't got no peace, and you like, I don't really understand. And he's trying to tell you, like, and then you saying, well, I have been through some stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what a cry for understanding, a cry for help. It's tough, man. It's tough sometimes being a man, because a lot is expected. A lot is expected of us as men. Um, we carry a lot of the weight on our shoulders a lot of times, and we always make the little joke about, I don't even know why we try to understand women, because you can't really understand a woman. But man, men can be sometimes just as complicated, because like I said, we carry so much of the burden and so much of the weight on us, and then we're still expected to be emotionally available for the women. We're still expected to be, there for the kids, the children, and friends and family, and still got to navigate mama call and dad call, need help, brothers, sisters, everybody, niece and nephew, everybody. We still have to be there for everybody. I know this because this is a role that I've been in all my life, where I've been pulled in so many different directions, and sometimes I feel like, man, the weight of the world is on my shoulders. And I've Monk and I, we talked about that, and she'd be like, I'm grateful that I have her, because she's a great support system, and she's like, hey, it's cool, it's gonna be all right. You do what you can, and what you can't, you can't. But that's easy for a woman to say, but for us, when it's expected for us, a lot is hard. Phyllis says, you do want to help, but sometimes if they don't want to open up, then it can be draining for you. Sometimes the cry for help can burden others down when you don't have the answers. Yeah, I mean, if he's just one of those guys that I don't care what you say, what you do, he's just never gonna talk about it, then or at least talk about it to you. You may want to recommend that he talk to somebody else, go get some help. And if he doesn't want to do that, chances are it's gonna make the relationship for you. If he's a person that he ain't gonna open up, talk about it, say nothing, he just that's gonna make life miserable for you and him. So now, not just his life miserable, but your life is miserable as well. But I can tell you, if the woman has created, I can tell you almost without certain, because I've heard so many men say it. If the woman has created an environment, a safe space for that man to express how he feels without no judgment or fear of judgment, he will talk. He will talk. I can tell you that. If that woman has created a safe space without judgment, and let that man know, like, hey, you can be transparent, you can be open with me, and without judgment, without fear of retaliation or using it, throwing back in my face, I guarantee you this man will share. He will share. He may not share everything, but he will share enough to you so you can say, okay, well, that's a start. Let's kind of work on it. Let's talk about it. Mel said it goes both ways. I promise I tried to bring peace, listen, be there, ask if you need anything, cook, etc. Even if I'm going through what I'm going through. And that's it. That's all you can do, Mel. That's all you can do. Ms. Gwen said, especially for a man to get to the point of expressing that they are struggling means there is a great risk of being misunderstood or rejected. Absolutely. A great start is just being a safe space to listen without trying to fix it herself immediately. Absolutely. That's all I was saying to say. You know, if you have created that space, but you got to understand this, man. Women, y'all can be maniacal, diabolical sometimes. Y'all can take what a man has shared with y'all, the most deepest personal stuff, and soon as y'all get mad, throw it back up in his face. I think that's childish of a woman. I think it's very immature. And most of the time that comes from very childish, immature women that do that. But it has happened. And if it has happened in one relationship from a man, or the relationship he's in, and he did that, and the chances of him really opening back up to another woman really quickly, or sharing too much information, it's going to take some time. I mean, some trust is going to have to be there. You're going to have to show him that that he has a safe space to talk and open up with you, which means that oftentimes you may have to share some of your deepest, darkest secrets with him, so he can be like, damn, she shared that with me. Exactly, Ms. Gwen, and weaponize it to hurt the other person. So I think that's diabolical. If a person shares anything of substance about how they feel, transparency, vulnerability, aspects of their life, and they share these things with you, and you turn around and weaponize that to use that against them in an instance of you being mad or angry, that's diabolical. And sometimes it's one of those unforgivable, hateful, hurtful things that you just can't rebound from in a relationship, and you generally move on. So it can be tough. It can be really tough. Never hit below the belt ever. Like, I would never take nothing that somebody told me personally and then turn around and use it against them in a moment that I'm angry with them or mad or upset with them, because they told me that, because for one, they trusted me and they confided in me. So for me to turn around and take that and weaponize that against them, I like the word weaponize, Miss Gwen. To turn around and take that, to use that against me, it's diabolical. It's cynical. It's diabolical. It's beyond anything, man, that a person really could rebound from. That's tough. But it can be a cry for understanding, and so we got to be open and able to listen to what's going on. It could be a desire for change. It might also be a sign that he's ready for reflection or transformation, realizing that something in his life, work, habits, relationship, mindset needs to change so he can regain peace. And that's okay, totally okay. Where, to be honest with you, you ought to welcome that, because now he's saying, I want to be better in these areas, whether it's work, whether it's my habits, whether it's my relationship, just my mindset. I want to change and be better so I can have some peace about who I am. So you ought to really welcome that and say, hey, what you need from me? What you need from me, babe? I'm with you. And as a person that's growing personally, we ought to be changing every 2 to 5 years anyway. Changing to be better. If you're the same person you was in high school and you 45 years old, you missed the mark. You ought to be better. There should be a desire for change. And you ought to welcome the desire for change. Miss, I pray for peace, for we all are deserving. It's a love matter, a heart matter. Yeah. And if you have a heart for people, whether it's you're in a relationship or not, if you have a heart for people, um, and a love for people, and a love to do right by people, you would, like, when women, like, again, we're gonna deal with you guys tomorrow with this, but when it comes down to when a woman says she's lost her inner peace, because there are some inherent differences. Some are the same and some are a little different. But yeah, Monica, a personal reflection can be key. Just you personally reflecting yourself and seeing what areas you need to grow in terms of your habits, work, relationships, mindset, etc. And if you both are reflecting and going through this change, man, that's good. That means that you guys are wanting to be better for each other. If I don't inspire Monica to be better as a person, and she don't inspire me to be better as a person, then what are we really doing? If she's not supporting and encouraging me, and I'm not supporting and encouraging her, we have to really understand, like, what are we doing with each other if we're not supporting and encouraging? That's why every journey pretty much that Monica has come up with, even as it relates to her weight loss journey, I didn't, like, try to down her about what she wanted to do. If she wanted to, like, I really brought in the stop, let's not eat meat thing. And at first she was like, man, that's gonna be hard for me not to eat no chicken, but instead of her, speaking up against it and being just kicking up against it, she said, hey, I'm gonna support you in it, and I'm gonna do my best to not eat it to support you. And now she's better at it than me. She's way better at it than me. When it's times I want to fold and go eat me some ribs, she be like, well, baby, get you some ribs, but I can't do it. So she's supportive. And then so I've been supportive with her. She was like, hey, I want to, do this, and I want to lose my weight. I got this weight goal game. Now I told her to stop losing weight. I'm like, okay, you done it. Oh, I got 15. No, you don't got 15 more pounds. You're done. You're good. She said doing that, now being transparent. Y'all on one accord. And that's what we try to do. We try to be on one accord and support each other with what we got going on, whatever it is. And you have to be supportive of one another, and if both of you guys or one of you guys have a desire to change, man, be that support system for it. Because change is, some people don't like change. Because I've experienced it a lot on the job, when you're trying to implement new change. So what I do is I go to the very bottom, to the people who are rejecting the change, and then I make them, not make them, but I encourage them to be part of the change, to be change agents. Hey, I want you to be the so and so. So you give them some of the work to do as part of that change, then they're more likely to embrace the change. Because sometimes change can be hard, it can be difficult, because we've always done it this way, or we've always blah blah blah. And when you have that mindset, or you have that mindset of, I've always been this way, I ain't changing for nobody. Well, okay then. Don't change. Don't change for nobody. Stay the way you are. It's funny how I hear relationship advice a lot of times, negative relationship advice, coming from single people. It's crazy how I be hearing so much negative relationship advice, and it be always coming from somebody. You ask them, you in a relationship? No. That's why you not in a relationship. You can't give relationship advice because you're not in a relationship, and your advice that you give is always negative. That's why you're not in a relationship. So what it might mean toward the woman when he says this to a woman, it can carry deeper emotional implications. He may be feeling emotionally distant or conflicted about the relationship. It could reflect guilt, regret, or emotional toll, or the emotional toll of unresolved issues. He might be trying to just communicate that the peace he once felt in the connection has been disrupted. Yeah, you guys may have had the greatest relationship. There was so much peace, and then something changed. Whether it was you stopped, and sometimes, because I know women, you guys, when you guys are going through these changes with your body, stuff like that, or you having sometimes there are medical issues involved where sex is just really not at the forefront of your mind, like having sex. And he may feel like that this is a part of you guys' deeper connection. When you guys are intimate with each other, you guys are, it's a deeper part of your connection. And when there's not there, but you haven't explained to him that you are experiencing some female issues. You haven't explained to him that, hey, I got a fibroid issue, or I'm hurting there when we do it. Menopause, whatever. So this is where you have to be open and transparent with him and say, hey, this is what's going on with me. I'm going through some issues. So he can say, well, let me be there for you, and let me help support you in this fight. So now I'm instead of me saying there's no peace, I understand, because you opened up and you've been transparent with me about what's going on. But don't be like the woman in the video the other day when she found out her man was having, she knew her man was having a medical issue and couldn't really perform sexually. And she said, can I go and get it from some other man? Or can I go and get it from some other woman? That's not the answer, ladies and gentlemen. That's not the answer. You know what I'm saying? That's not the answer. You can't go that way. So in summary, when a man says he's lost his inner peace, he's expressing emotional unrest, confusion, or deep pain. It's often a sign of inner conflict, whether from life's pressures, personal guilt, or relationship struggles. Listening with empathy and openness can help him begin to regain that peace. He's so serious. What you talking about? All right. So I hope that helped somebody today. To really understand what it is what your man is going through when he said he has no peace, or he may not even tell you that. It's just the way he acted. It should open up some dialogue or some conversation or communication with you. Let's clock that T with our girl Queen Watkins. Or not. Because that's totally blank. Let's try that again. Woo, that was totally blank. There's nothing there. Okay, so here we go. It's all good.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what time it is. put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl, Queen Watkins. I hope y'all are having an amazing morning. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. I'm so sorry, y'all. I lost my voice, but we gonna get through it. Have y'all seen the story of the Uber rider, y'all, that left her child in the car with the Uber driver? Yeah, let's talk about it. So, y'all, this girl, how ironic, that's from St. Louis. Her name is Quita, that took the ride from the Uber, right? The Uber driver's name is Jay. So she ended up getting an order and she picked up Quita and her child. And Quita was just like, can you take me to this place? Right? So the Quita girl, the J girl, which was the driver, she took her to where she needed to go. And when they got there, she was like, oh, can you take my baby to the babysitter? Or what? My assignment was to take you to your destination, and that's what I did. But old girl ended up telling her, well, she ended up asking her, she said, hey, can you take my baby to the babysitter? For some reason, I think both, well, let me not go into that. The driver said, yes, I'm going to take your infant child elsewhere without you being in the car. Yep, sure is. Why would you do that anyway? I get it, being a nice person, whoop it bam. Girl, please. You're gonna be with your child. You so much stuff going on, you gonna be with your child. You want me to take you out somewhere else? Because if not, I'm not taking you out nowhere. So anyway, Quita went to her event. The J girl, the driver, she went to the babysitter, which was the sister. The sister was like, no, I'm not babysitting. So you're going to have to take this child with you. Jay ended up calling Quita. Quita was like, well, can you take her to my baby daddy house?
Oh no.
Then Jay said, yeah. Okay, I was like, girl, what? Jay, did she didn't offer her no extra money because she didn't even get paid, period, for doing all that. Let's talk about it. You supposed to get paid before all this stuff if you want to agree and be Miss Nice Guy. So she tried to call Quita back, and Quita won't answer. Jay was blowing her phone up, and Quita was not answering. So Jay decided to go on social media with that girl baby and told everybody, don't do no Uber rides for her. She leaving her kids with people who demand. Why would you say yes to doing that though? I don't understand. You not even making this girl try to be a mama. She a whole mammy out here. And you not even trying to force her. No, I'm not keeping your child. I'm not gonna be
Oh, mammy.
responsible. You get you Quita, you need to get your own child. So she
Oh,
ended up calling her back from somebody else's number. It was like, oh, I'm sorry, my phone went dead, but we're at a club. So do you mind watching my baby? Man, only if the J girl, if I was a J girl and I knew where
I
she was
call the
at,
police.
boy, mind you, Jay already have her own child. She had a job to get to that morning. You know, she was Ubering to make some extra money. And she's responsible for these girls' child. She done said, okay, she gonna babysit.
What?
Where are your antennas, Jay? You must wanted to do that. Like you had to, everything in your body had to say, I want to do this. Cause why would you do that? Make it make sense. You was already Ubering, so you was trying to make some money, but you didn't took on the responsibility thinking somebody else is gonna allow you. I guess they gonna pay you. Please. And y'all didn't even have that conversation about it. So I don't let's continue. So anyway, Jay ended up just finally deciding to call the police. Finally decided to call the police. Why you didn't call them after that girl not stop answering her phone the night before? But so she ended up calling police. Police told her, just go get a baby back. Police didn't even do that. So she finally got in touch with Quita and gave Quita her baby back. So now social media is in an uproar talking about Quita for leaving her child in the Uber. But they praising Jay instead of telling her common sense. Like, why would you even do that anyway? Why would you even agree to this? That girl would have had to ride with me to drop the baby out because ain't no way. Make it make sense. And y'all leaving y'all kids and people Ubers like that now in St. Louis? Oh, baby, nah. Then you got my damn name. All right, y'all. That's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Minute Hats Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins. Good luck. That tea. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
I have no words. For you to leave your baby with a complete stranger that you didn't know if this person was a serial killer, nothing. Even though you done took a ride, she got you to your destination. You just gonna leave your baby in the car with somebody and said drop them off at somebody else's house, and then just babysit when all else fails. You just babysit her. What? See, this is where I say some people ain't supposed to be parents. Some people are not supposed to be parents. The liabilities that Jay took on with her, yes, is unbelievable. Monks, I love when queens say whoop the bam. I don't understand. I don't understand Jay accepting to do that, and I don't understand the parent leaving your child in the car with somebody you don't know. I don't understand that. But anyway, all right, we got to get out of here, man. Let's pray. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for another opportunity. We pray now for all of our viewers and listeners, oh God, that we pray now that you will grant them their heart's desire, whatever they stand in the need of, oh God, that you will grant it in grace. Oh God, we pray now for all that we are supposed to pray for, God, those who are sick, shut in convalescent home, behind prison walls, and Lord, those that don't know you in the pardon of their own sins, we pray now for everybody. Oh God, we ask that you will continue to look upon us, grant us your grace, oh God, and your mercy. Continue to do like only you can do, oh God. Bless in a special way, oh God, and just grant us unmerited favor. And God, we thank you. We love you. It's in Jesus' name that we pray and ask all of these things. Thank God and amen. Man, we will see you guys tomorrow, man. Same bad time, same bad place. 2 Minute Hats. Let's talk about it.
The 2 Minute Hats podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.